Think and Grow Rich isn't something you just read once. It's something you become. The lie you've been told. You've been running, chasing, forcing, trying to make things happen, and it's still not showing up. So you're frustrated, confused, tired, because in your mind, you're doing everything right. You're putting in the effort, you're thinking about it, you're visualizing it, and you're even speaking it out loud, and still nothing. So what do? You double down, you push harder. You tell yourself you just need more discipline, more grind. Let me ask you a little something. If more effort was the answer, why are so many people out here grinding themselves to the ground and still getting nowhere, nada? Why are there so many people working 12 hours, still broke, still stuck like Chuck, still searching? Why are there so many people chasing success for years and it never shows up? Because you've been taught a lie, a sneaky lie, a dangerous one. The lie that sounds like the truth, that's what you've been taught. Everything you want is out there, and you just have to go get it. That success is something you chase. The money is something you hunt down. The opportunities are something you force into existence. You've been taught, go harder, move faster, do more, take action, and listen. Action matters, effort matters, work matters. But what if that's not the missing piece? What if the problem is not that you're not doing enough, but that you're doing it from the wrong place? Because chase comes from lack. Think about it. When you chase something, what are you really saying? I'll tell you what you're saying. You're saying, I don't have it. It's not mine yet. I need to go get it. And that energy, that mindset, that identity keeps you in a constant state of pursuit. Always running, never arriving, always trying, never becoming. You've been conditioned to believe that the harder you chase, the closer you get. But what if that's backwards? Because the moment you chase something, you put it ahead of you. You place it out of reach. You confirm it's not yours. And life responds to that. Not what you say you want, but what you are. Let that sink in. Let that marinate. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. So if you're constantly chasing money, think about it. You stay the man who doesn't have it. If you're constantly chasing success, you stay the man who hasn't become it. If you're constantly chasing women, then you stay the man who doesn't have any options. If you're constantly chasing respect, then you stay the man who hasn't earned it. And that's the loop. That's the trap. That's the silent cycle that keeps most people stuck. For years, they wake up, chase, feel like they're getting closer, get a small win, then it disappears. And they're right back where they started, running again. And you've been running for something that was never meant to be chased. Let that hit you. Let it hit you like a Mack truck. You've been exhausting yourself. Trust me, I've been there, trying to grab something that doesn't respond to force. You can't force your way into becoming someone you're not ready to be. You can't bully life into giving you something your identity can't hold. You can't demand results without becoming the type of man those results belong to. But nobody told you that, thinkers. Nobody told you that chasing is a distraction, that effort without alignment is just motion. That's running in the wrong direction and still getting nowhere, faster. So you keep going, you keep chasing, because that's what's been programmed in your mind. You see success, you chase it. You see money, you chase it. You see the lifestyle, you chase it. You see the women, you chase her. Everything is a chase, everything is pursuit, everything is go get it. But what if it was all a lie? It was never about going to get it. What if It was about becoming the version of yourself that it naturally comes to. Because think about it, there are people who don't chase anything, and yet everything seems to come to them, seems to fall on their lap. Opportunities, money, connections, respect, women, it all shows up. And from the outside, it looks like luck, it looks like timing. It looks like they're just at the right place at the right time. But that's not what it is. It's alignment, it's readiness, it's identity. It's not chasing, because they've already become the type of person. Some people are lucky enough to have parents that teach them this, and some people learn the hard way. But either way, it's about becoming the type of person those things belong to. And when you become that, you don't have to hunt, you don't have to beg, you don't have to force. It comes naturally, effortlessly, inevitably. But right now, you're stuck in the old way of thinking, the way you were taught, the way everybody repeats. Go harder, chase it down, make it happen. We're in this culture that is all about no sleep, all grind. And when it doesn't happen, you blame yourself. You think you're not working hard enough, not disciplined enough, not focused enough, not smart enough. So you push more, you sacrifice more, you give more energy to something that still isn't showing up. And that frustration, that tension, that feeling like you're doing everything right, but still missing something, that's the signal. That's your wake-up call. Because deep down, you already feel it. You already know something is off. And you know there's a missing piece. And more effort is not gonna fill it in. It's not more chasing, it's not more force, it's something deeper, something internal, something nobody taught you, because they didn't understand themselves. So they passed down the same broken belief, generation after generation. Chase harder, work harder, push more until you get it. But you're starting to see the truth now. You're starting to feel it, because no matter how much you chase, it doesn't feel like you're getting closer. It feels like you're staying in the same place, just burning more energy. And here's the reality. The thing you want, it's not running from you. It's not hiding from you. It's not avoiding you. It's waiting for you to become the man who can receive it. Because life doesn't give you what you beg for. It gives you what you already are and what you're ready for. And readiness is not about what you say. It's not about what you wish for. It's not about what you visualize once a day and forget the rest of the time. Readiness is who you are when nobody is watching. Your habits, your standards, your discipline, your mindset, your identity. And if those things don't match what you're asking for, it won't appear. Not because it can't, because it shouldn't. And if it does appear, please believe it will disappear just as fast as it came. Because giving you something you're not ready for would destroy you deep down, and you know that too. You know there's levels you're not prepared for yet. You know there's responsibilities you haven't grown into yet. You know there's a version of you that still needs to evolve. But instead of focusing on that, you've been trying to skip the process, trying to jump straight to the reward, trying to grab something without becoming someone. I'm sorry to tell you, but life doesn't work like that. It never has, and it never will. So now you're at a crossroads. Do you keep chasing? Do you keep forcing? Do you keep exhausting yourself, hoping one day it finally clicks? Or can you pause, step back, and ask a different question, a better question, a question that changes everything? Not how do I get it, but who do I need to become for it to come to me? Because that's where everything shifts. That's where everything changes. That's where the real work begins. It's not glamorous. It's not loud. It's not something you can show off. It's internal. It's quiet. It's disciplined. It's uncomfortable, but it's real. And once you step into that, and once you start focusing on becoming instead of chasing, you start noticing something. things become the move. Opportunities start appearing. Doors start opening. People start showing up. Not because you chased them, but because you matched them. Because you became the version of yourself they were always meant for. So let me ask you again. What if the real reason it hasn't appeared is because you're not ready to receive it? The law of readiness. When one is ready for a thing, it puts in its appearance. Not sometimes, not randomly, not by luck, by law. Let that settle. Let that sink in. Because this is where everything changes. This is where you stop guessing and start understanding. This is not motivation. This is not hype. This is principle. And principles don't care how you feel. They don't care how bad you want it. They don't care how long you've been waiting. They respond only to alignment. So slow down. Listen carefully. Because if you miss this, you'll keep repeating the same cycle. Wanting more, but staying the same. Readiness, it's not about what you say. It's not about what you say with your mouth. It's not about what you post. It's not about what you claim you're about to do on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook. Readiness is what you are, consistently, quietly, when no one is watching. Because life doesn't respond to your words. It responds to your identity, to your patterns, to your standards, to your level of control. That's what determines what shows up in your life. Not desire, not hope, not wishing on a star, not even effort alone. Identity. Let's make it clear. Money doesn't come to the man who wants it. It comes to the man who can handle it. There's been many times where I've touched money, I've got a lot of money, and guess what? I found a way to spend it, or something mysteriously happened to where I had to spend it. What's that? That's not coincidence. That's the law. Where your mind is or where you are, trust me, your reality will stay. That's why I take the time to go through this book like it's the Bible, because it's changed my life. It's changed my philosophy on how I approach getting money. So like and subscribe if you want more of this content. Hand a man any type of money. Hand a man $1 million and they'll lose it. Not because they're unlucky, not because they're a bad person, but because they were unprepared. They haven't developed the discipline. They haven't built the mindset. They haven't created the systems. They haven't become the man who can hold that level of money. So life blocks it, not to punish them, but to protect them. Because anything you receive without readiness, you will eventually lose. That's real talk. Every time, no exceptions. So the question is not, do I want it? The question is, can I keep it? Because keeping it requires becoming someone different, someone stronger, someone sharper, someone smarter, more control, more aware, more disciplined, more intentional. And until that happens, it won't stay. Now apply that to everything. Opportunities don't appear randomly. They appear when you match them. Think about it. There are opportunities happening right now all around you that you can't even see. Not because they're hidden, but because you're not aligned with them. Your awareness is limited by your level of perception. It's shaped by your identity. If you're still thinking small, you won't recognize big opportunities, trust me. If you're still operating in fear, you won't move when the moment comes. If you're still inconsistent, you won't be trusted with anything that requires stability. So the opportunity passes, not because it wasn't there, but because you wasn't ready to meet it. The law, it's not personal, it's precise. You don't rise to what you want, you rise to what you become. Let that hit. Rewind this video if you need to. Take your time, study the knowledge. Because this is where most people get it wrong. They think life is about chasing moments, chasing chances, chasing breakthroughs. But breakthroughs don't come from chasing. They come from preparation, meeting opportunity. And if preparation isn't there, the opportunity doesn't land. Or worse, it lands and you fumble it. You fumble the bag. You fumble the opportunity. You've seen it before. People get a chance and ruin it. People get an opportunity and waste it. People get access and lose it. Why? Because they weren't ready in the first place. They reached something their identity couldn't sustain, so it collapsed. That's why readiness matters more than desire. Desire gets you moving, but readiness determines what stays. When one is ready for a thing, it puts in its appearance. Find your Think and Grow Rich book, look at page 3, and reread this quote until it's memorized in your brain. That means it's already there waiting, not being created, but being revealed. Because once you align with it, you start to notice it. You start to move toward it naturally. You start to attract it without forcing it. Not because you're lucky, but because you became compatible with it. Compatibility, yeah, that's the word. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you're compatible with. If your habits don't match success, if your routine don't match success, you won't be able to hold success. If your mindset doesn't match wealth, you won't be able to keep wealth. If your discipline doesn't match greatness, you won't be able to sustain that greatness. So life keeps you where you are until you change who you are, not out of cruelty, but out of order. Because giving you something too early will break you. Imagine stumbling across $1 million as a drug addict. What do you think that's gonna do? Do you think that's gonna automatically change his life? Or do you think he's gonna go deeper into who he is? That just gave him more resources to destroy himself. And it's the same for you. Imagine handing pressure to someone who hasn't built resilience. Imagine handing responsibility to someone who avoids accountability. Imagine handing power to someone who lacks control. It will collapse. So life waits, not forever, but until you catch up, until your identity matches what you're asking for. The moment it does, everything shifts. Suddenly, things start happening. People say, you got lucky. You were in the right place. It just worked out. But they didn't see the work. They didn't see the transformation. They didn't see the internal shift. They didn't see the nights you chose discipline over comfort. They didn't see the standards you raised when nobody was watching. They didn't see you becoming. They only saw it appear. But you know the truth. It didn't appear randomly. It appeared because you were ready. Because you built yourself into alignment with it. Because you became the version of yourself that could receive it, that could handle it, that could keep it. That's the law. Once you understand that, you stop rushing, you stop forcing, you stop chasing, because you realize everything you want is on the other side of who you're becoming. Not what you're grabbing, not what you're chasing, not what you're demanding, who you are daily, repeatedly, consistently. Because readiness is not a moment, it's a standard. It's not something you turn on. When opportunity shows up, it's something you live in before it arrives. That's why most people miss it. They wait until the moment comes, then they try to rise to it. But by then, it's too late, because you don't rise in the moment. You reveal who you already are in the moment. So if you haven't built it, it won't be there. If you haven't practiced it, it will not show up. If you haven't become it, you won't sustain it. That's why preparation is everything. Not surface level preparation, not fake discipline, not temporary effort, real preparation, internal, deep, unseen, the kind that changes your identity, the kind that rewires your habits, the kind that builds control. Because when that happens, you don't have to force anything. You don't have to chase anything. You don't have to beg for anything. It comes naturally because you're ready. And once you're ready, it has no choice. When one is ready for a thing, it puts in its appearance. Not because you ask, not because you wish, not because you chase, but because you became. And once you become, it's all inevitable. Part 2 will be the next video we drop, and we'll go over why it hasn't shown up yet and how to become ready. If you made it to the end of this video, you are now officially considered a thinker. Now like and subscribe if you like the vibe. Hit that hype if you want to see the views spike. Thinkers are us.